Good morning, everybody. This is Loudmouth Matt. Thank you for tuning in. This episode's going is one of those ones where there's a lot of debate on it, and that's cool. I want the debate. Keep it respectful on this one. Now, I tried to join a live today. The person's live or the person's name is Divine Bottom Slash Order. I'm going to assume on the other side of the pond, and that's cool. Uh, and now you are asking people that are pro-choice, is it okay if a woman has an abortion all the way up to the day before birth? And the problem you're having in this conversation, sir, is the way you're trying to come off. You're coming off very dominant, which is cool. But anyway, I came up. You asked me what year I was born. I told you 1980. You asked me my age. I told you 45. Even told you the year I graduated fucking high school, 1998, because of the monotone of my voice, which is cool. You're not the first person that's done that. But I've given you options to check out my YouTube videos or my link so you can at least see what I look like so you can make that determination that I'm 45 or not. But you chose not to, which is cool. That is your prerogative. Anyway, now on your debate, your debate is about abortion, or your live is about abortions. And on your window screen, you have abortion is more immoral with a cross. Underneath of that, it says "Prove me wrong." Then you got an outline of a childbearing person and an arrow, your body. Then you have a fetus inside the belly area, you know, and it says "Not your body" with an arrow. Now, you're asking, is it right for you to murder a future person? Yes, it is. No ifs, ands, or buts. If the childbearing person wants to have an abortion, yes, it is their choice. Now, you're going to sit there and say, yeah, but now you're going to say it's okay to take a human life, blah, 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 blah. Well, in the, and then you're also asking, saying, well, is it, then you're asking the question is it okay to have an abortion all the way up to the day of or the day before the birth? Yes. As a childbearing person, they have that option. It is their choice. No ifs, ands, or buts. Now, here in the United States, I don't know what it's like over there on the other side of the pond, if that is where you're from, but here in the United States, the statistic numbers of what you're referring to all the way up to the day of birth is very, very, very it's so minute it's below 1%. It's like 0.002%. I don't know, but I know it's under 1%. Where they have to have an abortion in the third trimester or attempt to save the mother's life and or the parasite's life. Again, I'm using the word parasite not to offend anybody, not to be unsensitive, but the reason I'm going to be using certain words, I want you people to know I'm using it so you have to, in my opinion, you have to distance yourself from this argument from morally right or wrong. You have to look at it with an open mind. So by using the words that I'm using and taking the humanity out of it so it's better understood. That's all I'm doing. I'm not doing it to be an asshole or to be insensitive. So please, again, bear with me because I'm also going to be taking stuff off of Google. And I'll let you guys know when I'm reading something from Google. Okay, now I'm going to tell you yes, it is perfectly okay for a childbearing person to do that. But again, here in the United States, in the third trimester, when it's viable, when the thing is viable, it's not aborted. It is a C-section put into a machine to grow to be strong enough to live without a machine. That's a C-section, early birth. We all know it can happen up to what? They got to be what? At least 30 weeks, 32 weeks ish. Okay? So this is looking like 28. That's 4. That would be 32. That's 1. So that's about 3 months left of the pregnancy. So third trimester is 28 through 40 weeks of pregnancy. Guesstimation. But that is also off of Google. The website is called Healthline. That's the website I used because I Googled third trimester, wasn't sure that the amount of time that was considered third trimester, so I had to Google it. So sorry about your luck. Okay. So yes, I do think a childbearing person has that option. I don't care if you think it's morally right or wrong. So yes, in my opinion, as a 45-year-old male, a cis white male, yes, a childbearing person can make that choice. And these are my reasons why. One, it's a parasite. You're never going to prove me wrong on this one. And this is why. Parasite definition. Again, this is off of Google, and it is AI overview. But if I scroll down, it gives me the definition from Oxford. It gives me the definition from Webster, and the CDC. There's got something. A parasite is an organism that lives on or in a host organism, and that is fed from or at their expense of its host. That's from the CDC. But let's go and see what AI says what a parasite is. A parasite is an organism that lives on or within another organism called the host and obtains nutrients or benefits from it, often causes harm to the host in progress. Parasites can be plants, animals, and can be found in various environments, including within humans and other animals. Now, there's 2 links. There's I'm not even gonna bother to try to say the one. I butchered it the first time I tried. Not going to. The second link is Center for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC, over here in the United States. Prove me that it's not a parasite, please. Tell me it's not, because this is why I think it's okay to get an abortion. A childbearing person has an organism that's living inside of them, which is taking nutrients from the host, harming the host. You're going to say, harming the host? How? Well, there are cases, I don't know how many, but there are certain cases where a childbearing person has died because it's hosting a parasite. It has happened. Parasite in this discussion is going to be a fetus. Okay, so it does happen. It does. With just about any certain type of animals, it's happened. Anyway, now they're stealing the nutrients from a childbearing person. The vitamins, the nutrition, just everything it needs to survive in its host, it's taking from the host. Deforms the host's body, sometimes to the part of it can't be repaired with modern medicine because it's just part of what happens. So yeah, a childbearing person has that right to terminate the parasite's life. No ifs, ands, or buts. Okay, you want to sit there and say it's a human? That's fine. It will end up growing into a human. That's not the argument. The argument is it okay for a childbearing person to terminate that parasite? Yes, it is okay to terminate the life of the parasite. It is. I don't know. I mean, you can sit here and say morally it's wrong. Again, you have to take your personal feelings, again, your personal feelings aside, put them aside, and have the conversation with the intelligent part of your brain. You got to look at it at a scientific point of view. But if you want to turn around and say, well, but my religion, well, the Jewish community, they believe in abortion. Okay, so now you've already won. You're already saying that they can't have one because it's morally wrong for you. Well, in their book, it's okay to have one. Um, Now we can go into the Holy Bible. King James is what I used to read. I don't remember, books and this and that, but it does in the Bible. I forget in what book it is and what verse. It starts talking about the unborn child. Okay, well, we're going to use those words for because of the way it's worded in the Bible. That it's property. It's not a life. It's property. To where you owe the husband of the childbearing person and the parasite's biological parent, that is obviously a male in this argument, have to give him representation because you stole his property, you destroyed his property. That's the Bible. And I know it's in Genesis, where in Genesis, God says, I give you the breath of life. You are now alive. Paraphrasing. So God even said, you need to breathe to have, to be alive, to be a person, to be a child of His. You have to breathe. Okay? So religiously, that's out of the question. On the conservative right, that's out of the fucking question because we just said what the Bible said. That's it. Okay, now I have lost friends and family over their opinions on certain things. This is not one of them. This is a personal opinion. I'm not going to sit here and begrudge you or them or anybody else on this topic. It's not my place to tell a childbearing person what they can and can't do to their fucking body. Stay out of it. It should be between them, their doctor, and their motherfucking family. So they all can come up with a decision what is right for them. Now, if they don't want to include their family, that's their choice. It's between them, and the doctor on whose choice it is. Not choice, what their options are, what is the best option, and how to handle it. That's what they're there for. So, morally, if you want to know if I am for or against abortion, I personally don't give a shit. It's your choice. I will stand here and argue for you to have that choice because it's your choice. I will stand with you because it's your choice. Right or wrong, I don't care because it's your choice. I'm not going to take away your choice. I will sit here, be on this 12 subscribe YouTube channel, and sit here and argue for your right. Because it's not my choice, it's yours. So that is why I am for pro-choice. That is why I will sit here and say what I have to say, defend what I have to defend for you. So, Mr. Divine Order, I really did try to get on here with you to have a live with you, to have a conversation with you, and to have a debate. But because you are being so narrow-minded, and not narrow-minded, closed-minded, same thing, that you wanted to go off of my voice when I even told you can check out my YouTube channel to verify I look like I'm older than 18. Again, 1980. But you want to be a bitch, not have a true conversation, because all you want are your gotcha moments. Try to have a fucking gotcha moment with me, buddy. Now, again, if people want to have this debate, let's have the debate. Let's be respectful. Um, I don't care what side of the argument you're on, but be respectful. So, if you truly want to have a conversation, Mr. Divine Order, I am more than willing to have one with you. I am not the smartest apple in the bunch. I can hold my own. I hope, I truly do hope, everybody, you guys have a good day, and you guys have a wonderful day with you and your family.